Live from deep in an underground bunker in East Tennessee, this is America's premier mortgage fuel services expert, Paul Williams.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you back to another edition of Foreclosurepedia Podcast. Foreclosurepedia Podcast, presentation of Foreclosurepedia Radio Network, which premieres weekly. We're at the bottom of the hour. It's 19:30 hours Eastern Daylight Time. The date is the 18th of November, 2017. And as you heard at the top of the hour, at 7 o'clock, we were talking about the industry. We were talking about the directions, the single source organizations that we're looking at. And we were also talking about the heavy focus that's going on in New England. The New England area, the New England states, we're talking from Pennsylvania all the way up to the tip of Maine. And I'm going to tell you, we're fortunate, like we've been talking all week. We have a gentleman who owns CT Property Preservation. His name is Chad Benoit. He is based out of Maine. Look, I've been working with this guy about a year, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't like to say that I can always call the shots, but when I met this guy, when I saw the quality of the work that he and his firm puts out, his network of subcontractors, I thought I was looking in the mirror. But, nobody's ugly as I. But I'm going to tell you his results are better than mine. Chad, are you out there?
Yes, sir, Paul. I'm here.
Hey, man. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. You're talking to the Foreclosurepedia Nation tonight. So, Chad, look, you own CT Property Preservation. You've been around about 5 years. Talk to me about your company, about what you do, and the areas that you are covering right now.
Well, we are a full-service company. We do everything from your basic pres to hazard claims, rehabs, and remodels. We're actively working in Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maine, Southern New Hampshire, and Indiana. And we're just seeing a definite trend in volume up here. We're excited to see what's going on up here.
So when you say you're working in those states, so if I come to you, say I'm a firm, and a lot of the firms listen to me out here. I mean, hell, I'm the mouth of the South, baby. But look, so you can do a lock change, you can do a wint, you can do an initial. Can you do the routine work? The bi-weekly, the monthlies that's coming around on these orders.
Absolutely, yes. We currently do the routine maintenance as well.
Excellent. And so, one of the big things, one of the trends that I'd called out last year that I saw coming up, rehabs. This is one of the big things I saw in the crystal ball in our volumes, like we spoke earlier at the top of the hour with my other guest. One of the deals is we're down to only about 400,000 properties in active servicing going on right now. When it comes to rehabs, are you guys suited? Are you situated? Do you have a network together that you can perform rehabs? And if so, where at? Or is it in all those states?
Yeah, we certainly have the ability to perform rehabs in all our states of active coverage area now. And I'm sure, as everybody listening that's in the industry is aware, you can only handle and have so many ongoing rehabs at the same time. But we definitely have several rehab crews in each of our states of coverage.
We just spoke about the fact, and I apologize in advance. I have the sinus, as most of my listeners know. This time of year, you're going to hear me hack. It is what it is. With that said, there's a lot of the work now that's been rolling out Fannie Mae orientated, generally where there's a big ability to capture from the financial point of view. It's the bid work. Do you guys have a good team in place? You get a work order. Do you have the ability, top to bottom, cradle to grave, bid that out?
Absolutely. I think that's actually one of the one of the unique points of CT Property Preservation is, we have a tremendous bid writing team in place, and we try to take, once, as we were speaking earlier, some of the burden off of the contractors so that, they can go out in the field, perform their services, and not have to come home and do 3 hours worth of, paperwork and bid writing. They go out, they go into the field, they provide us with the necessary documentation, and our bid writing staff takes over from there. We believe in one and done bids from foundation to roof line, and, all of our clients are very pleased with our bids.
Over the past couple of years, and this is a question mainly for my listeners, have you guys at all up in your area been seeing an increase in the bid requests or an increase in the rehabs as opposed to, say, maybe 3 or 4 years ago? What I really mean is, have you guys been experiencing, as other areas are, this increase in the requirements to put forward these bids? Because what a lot of the people are telling me, a lot of the clients, they're saying, look, Paul, we have these guys who can clean the toilet and they can cut the grass, and sometimes they have a nice secretary that sounds really pretty, but our problem is they can't really capture on the bid. And what that drives at is one of the biggest issues that I see when I look at that bridge between management and labor is actually being able to submit a bid. Most of these guys can take photos, and as you pointed out, you have a great team on that. Have you been seeing an increase at all up in your area?
Well, I believe, we've definitely, we've got a few things going for us, certainly up here in New England. This area is so old and historic, and, up here in Maine specifically, a lot of the cities are putting forth ordinances that they're just not allowing these houses to sit around and become blights anymore. The cities are pushing to have the remodels, the renovations done. They're pushing to bring these properties into marketable condition, one for, just for the aesthetics for the community, but also to bring values back into the community. So up here in Maine especially, we're getting a big push, and that's a help from the, the local city ordinances and things.
Yeah, and when you when you speak of Maine, and incidentally, I've been all up through there. I was blown away by the woodwork, and years ago I traveled around a lot, Lake Winnipesaukee, been all the way over into Maine, up to Bangor and elsewhere. But that's one of the deals. So here where I'm at in Tennessee, when we talk about a about a house, we're talking about a ranch-style 3-2 attached garage going down the road. But you guys are talking about Dutch colonial. You guys are talking about, gambrel style Victorian. And so to that point, are you and your team comfortable with those more exotic flavors of rehabs? Because I'm going to tell you, a lot of them out there aren't, but I'm going to probably guess that CT Property Preservation is. Am I correct on that?
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely get some higher end remodel work, and some of our carpenters are ex-boat builders, so if you're working on a yacht or a ship, how tight the wood needs to be tight and right. These guys do a fantastic job bringing some of these older homes back where they need to be, matching trim and woodwork and all, to bring the house like it's supposed to be, like it was intended to be.
Is CT Property Preservation set up for evictions? Can you guys, if a client says, hey, we need to do an eviction, can you guys do that?
We do them at least a couple a month anyway. Yes, sir.
Excellent. And how about, because hell, it's New England states, are you guys set up for snow removal?
100% praying for it, Paul.
And so you and I, we've spoken off air many a time, and I have a good feeling for whom you are in your firm. I want to make sure the people out there that are listening, they truly understand who CT Property Preservation is. I want to, with your permission, I'd like to go ahead and give out your phone number. Do you have a problem with that? So people, or do you have a phone number clients ought to call to speak with you to actually set up accounts if they want to go down that road? Why don't you give us a good phone number?
Absolutely, yeah. They can call our office at area code 207-520-2705.
Excellent. And do you have a good email for people to reach you at?
You can reach me at Chad at Corbin, Corban, transformations.com.
Excellent. And I understand you also have a website. And ladies and gentlemen, that's www.ctppm.com. That's the ways to get a hold of Chad. This is Chad Benoit we've been speaking with this evening. He's with CT Property Management based out of Maine. They cover all within reason of the New England states. They're in central Indiana. Look, these folks, they have passed through the Foreclosurepedia iStar clearance background checks. These guys, they're state of the art. They have one hell of a product. Why don't we talk just a little bit more? Talk to me about your company as it is today and where you would like to be, let's say 18 months down the road.
Sure. So over the last 2 years, we've crept up and been, grown into, becoming a more full service, regional vendor. We still lack the state of Vermont to have the complete and entire New England area. So, our goals for the future over the next, 12 to 18 months are to get ourselves up into Vermont, take the rest of New England, and open up the rest of the state of Indiana. We don't have dreams of grandeur. I'm not trying to be much bigger than that. We want to own our backyard, New England, and Indiana, and we want to continue to push into more of the rehab and renovation work.
So it sounds like what you're doing both preservation, mortgage field services industry work. It sounds like you're very adept and you're doing well with rehabs. I'm curious. This is one of the things that I've always encouraged contractors and labor in the industry to do. Are you thinking about federal diversification, federal contracting at all? Because, look, your company is prime for this.
Oh, absolutely. That is definitely a road, we'd like to get to travel. We're working in that direction. We're continuing to try and build our client and contractor base, and I think that we've got a real solid foundation, and I think that we're set in a good position to start looking into some of those other revenue streams.
Man, that's excellent, and I always push on that. The federal contracting. Look, the story I give people is this: right now, you're going to go out and you're going to take 100 photos to do a $25 grass cut. You're going to wait 60 days to get paid on that. That's going to be interest-free, and that's if you actually get paid. In federal contracting, let's take a VA cemetery. Most of them come in, the smaller ones, say Memphis, good example, $1.5 million. So you're going to get it paid $1.5 million. And provided you're not out there showing your ass and knocking over tombstones, you're going to cut grass 7 months out of the year. You're not going to take a single photo, and they're going to pay you. But, ladies and gentlemen, I tell you what, Chad Benoit, CT Property Management, you need to keep your eyes on these guys. These guys are rising stars, and I'm going to tell you, they're in the neck of the woods that matters, and that's the New England states. And so, as we close out, you have anything you would like to say to the Foreclosurepedia Nation and potential clients out there tonight?
Absolutely. We look forward to getting to work with some of you guys. We hope you'll visit the website and shoot some inquiries out. And as always, Paul, I appreciate you and all that you do for labor and management in the industry. You're a blessing to all of us. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you. And ladies and gentlemen, that's been Chad Benoit. As we come up on the top of the hour, as you know, we're going to be speaking with a former IRS officer. We're talking both about how the industry is changing from a W-2 to W-9, the conflict in that environment, and we're also going to be speaking about the implications of insurance adjustment work, how we're submitting these bids. We'll be right back after this from a word from our sponsors.